Friends, I am Professor Kevulati B.N. Narao, former Vice Chancellor of Acharya Nagarjuna University, Andhra Pradesh. On the occasion of celebrating 75 years of independence, I wish to share my views with you all on the education system that has been in place in our independent India. You are aware that the country has gained lot of glory during the past, and we are told that Indian education has spread beyond boundaries, and we had great names like Nalanda, Takshashila, Vikramshila, and many others, and they were able to draw the people from various parts of the world, and the Indian education has spread. And over the years, somehow we have lost the track and the glory. And it is many a time said that during the Vedic period, Indian education has been acclaimed so much, and that our Vedas, the four Vedas, contain many such treasures of knowledge. And along with that, the various other scriptures and Smritis and also Samhitas are said to contain a lot about the Indian tradition of education. But unfortunately, they all have not been able to percolate down to the modern times. And we are all now having the education that has been developed in the West, and we are all very fascinated about the foreign education. And all the universities and the students from India have been thronging the doors of the countries like United States, United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, and many others. And we should, at this time of completing 75 years of independence, we should now think and also rethink and relook into what has happened to our education, why we lost the game in the middle. And that is where I think we should attempt to regain our past glory. Somewhere we have lost the game, and it is time that we should think and relook into as to how we can build up the past glory. In that context, I wish to share with you that, say, we have lost the game for the reason that we do not have a specific of our own, and that the brand of education that can be called as Indian we do not have, and we are all, as I told you, fascinated about the foreign education. And it is time that we may relook into this kind of an issue. And also I believe that we have lost the game for the reason that there is no foundation, a philosophical foundation from which we can build the education of the Indian kind. For one reason that we have always been quoting the philosophers like Plato and like Aristotle and like Socrates. And that is where we have been telling much about them, and say that the education that has been thought of by them is very crucial. But we can do the same thing based on our Indian classical treasure of knowledge, and then we can try to design the education of our own. And it is time that we think as to how we can build that kind of a situation. Though Indian philosophers like Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan, Dr. Kotha Sachidanand Murthy, and many others have made attempts to contribute something to build the education of our Indian kind, but their opinions and their suggestions have not been taken into account very much. And though several committees right from 1964, 1986, 1982, many committees have been appointed, but their suggestions have not been valued so much. And finally, we have now a new education policy called the National Education Policy 2020, and with all the suggestions that have been made by earlier committees and the study groups. And I feel that the new educational policy has been something like a compendium of all the recommendations of the earlier committees. And at least now there has been a codification that has happened. At least now the government should seriously consider for implementation of the same. And now it is also time that we try to rebuild the Indian education system and create a brand image for the Indian education. And how it come, I wish to tell you two or three issues for this. One thing is that we have to codify all that traditional knowledge that we have, whatever we call, whether it is the basis of